Hi. We often summarize the accounting period end closing process on an accounting worksheet. And so I'll use the worksheet, the start of the worksheet to just give you an overview of the process. The first column, so the title of our schedule here is Paris Bicycle Company's name of the company. The accounting worksheet is the schedule. And the period is for the month ended January 31, 2020. So the first column is account title. And so we're going to have all the accounts down that we've used that we have in the general ledger down this column. So obviously the first one will be cash, and then all the rest, accounts receivable, etc. The second column is the unadjusted trial balance. Second and third column, because we have the debits and the credits here. And that's the first thing we're going to do, and we'll do that in the next video. That simply means we are going to drop in the account balances right now and do a trial, make sure they balance. After we see that they balance indeed, we will then record any necessary adjusting journal entries. So what's that all about? Well, what that's all about is we're going to look at each account balance and we're going to think about whether it's right. There's two reasons it might not be right. One, we might have made a mistake and we'll correct it. That happens. But two, there may have been some economic events that have happened involving that account due simply to the passage of time. For example, accumulated depreciation will be zero right now, but it's not zero. We've used the showroom equipment for a month. Interest payable currently has a balance of zero, but it's not zero. We've had the bank's money for a month. We owe them more interest. And there's some others. So we will analyze those events and record those as adjusting journal entries, both on our worksheet as well as in the general journal, and post to the general ledger to get those accounts right. After we're done with all the what we think are all the adjusting journal entries, we will get an adjusted trial balance, which is the unadjusted trial balance plus or minus any debits or credits made in the adjusting entry process. It's also the balances in the ledger accounts because we've posted all of these adjusting journal entries to the ledger accounts. We will look at the adjusted trial balance then, and we will make sure that the balances are the appropriate balances. That's the formal review of all of the accounts. And it's from those accounts that we will prepare the financial statements. So I put a column in here for the income statement and the balance sheet. Frankly, you don't need to put these columns in. I'm doing it to be thorough our first time through, but we know what these accounts, whether they're temporary accounts that go on the income statement or permanent accounts that go on the balance sheet. So we can prepare the financial statements right from the adjusted trial balance column. Once we have finished the financial statements, we'll do the closing entries, which will close the temporary accounts for the month and return them to a zero balance so that we can start adding up next month totals. And that'll be the post-closing trial balance ledger account balances, and they will equal what is in the general ledger because these are recorded and posted as well, the closing entries. Okay, process. And for a summary of that process, remember, We have it in our notes previously. I'm looking at our lecture notes from the video number 1 in this module, and it's the page that starts with the accounting cycle. I can pull it up for you here. Excuse me. What this worksheet is doing is summarizing what was on this page. During the accounting period, we obtain information about external transactions from source documents, analyze the transactions, record the transaction in the general journal, and post the general journal entries to the general ledger. That's what we did in our last video. Thank you for your patience and your hard work on that. Now we're at the point of at the end of the accounting period. Prepare an unadjusted trial balance. We'll do that in the next video. Record adjusting journal entries and post them to the general ledger. Here, we're correcting accounts that have experienced balance changes due to the passage of time. We're also correcting any errors noted as well. Next, we'll prepare an adjusted trial balance. Remember, I described that when I was describing the worksheet. This is all these steps are just following that worksheet. That worksheet is following these steps, I should say. Prepare an adjusted trial balance then prepare financial statements from that adjusted trial balance. And then we will close the temporary accounts to retained earnings and prepare a post-closing trial balance to start the balances over for next year. The accounting cycle, I listed both the spreadsheet method and the accounting system. The spreadsheet method is what we were doing in our transaction analysis step. And then you can quickly see why we need the accounting system, because it just gets too complex and unwieldy if we just have an asset, a liability, and a shareholders' equity account. Okay. And that's an introduction to the accounting process, the year-end process, using both the accounting worksheet tool that we use, as well as reviewing our notes, our general notes from the process. All right. In our next video, we're going to do the adjusted trial balance. That'll be a quickie. That'll be a quick video. This was too. I hope you'll find you agree. And I thank you for your attention.